to do with a circus?
No.
Well, have a think. What do you think a newsroom could be about? What sort of things go on there?
Information about stuff that's going on around the world.
Well, that could be one, is that it? So information about things that are going on around the world. What else?
News.
News? Well, that seems to be the most obvious one, doesn't it?
You summed it up.
Now, what I'm going to ask you to do, over the next 5 weeks, in groups, you're going to produce your own JPS newsroom. Okay? And what you're going to need to be doing is there's not just one thing, I don't think. I think there might be lots of different things that you're going to need to think about in order to produce something that we're going to share with other people. Now, what have I asked you to bring in? What have I asked you to bring in? George?
PSPs, laptops, DS.
Now that seems like an awful lot of... Have you got any questions to ask me about that sort of stuff? Why do you think... Is it?
Because we're an export software.
Do you think it's just do you think it's software? Well, you asked me a question. You brought all this stuff in. Surely you must have some questions about it. I could ask you about it, but I've asked you to bring it in. Sam.
To do the software on the...
So, do you want to ask me something about something that's... Are you going to ask me? What could you ask me? Luke?
What kind of things are we going to do on it?
That's like quite a good point. What sort of things are we going to do with it? What sort of things can those all that hardware and that software do? What could it do?
Face-to-face talking with each other.
Well, you can do some talking. Good.
Videoing.
Videoing.
Get access to the internet.
You can access the internet. Wikis. Now, that's because I mentioned that the other week, wasn't it? Luke?
See how you can use things you play with at home at school.
Hey, good. Because is this stuff that I've just given you in school for you to use? No. It's stuff that you've already got at home that we're going to discuss about how you can use some of that stuff at home, at school. Now, some of you bought something. Who's bought a mobile phone in? Now, I'll tell you what, that could be interesting to see if we could use just to take the mobile phone. What sort of things can a mobile phone do? Injured. It can have a camera. So what can we do? We can take photos on a mobile phone. Good start. Luke?
We can phone and text people.
You can phone and text people if you needed to. Why might you phone and text someone?
If you want to chat to them or you want to tell them to do something or something.
Oh, okay. Good ideas. Daniel?
You can record yourself
Doing what?
speaking or singing.
Singing? You could do. So you say you record yourself. What sort of things can you record?
Recording. Record. No.
It's all right, Laker.
Your voice?
You can record your voice. That's definitely one thing that we can do. We can record ourselves talking about something, Andy.
Video cameras.
Wow, lots of them have got video cameras on, haven't they? So all of a sudden, you can capture maybe yourselves or somebody else speaking. You can actually get some live footage. Now, if I'm asking you to do a news program, do you think all those things we talked about could be useful in some way?
Yeah.
Yeah? I think they all could be, couldn't they? What sort of things then, knowing that we're going to do a news program and you're going to produce a news program, what sort of things could you use that you've brought in? What could you do with them?
You can use internet browsers in some of the computers.
You could use your internet browser. Why would an internet browser then help you record your own news program? How would it help you? How would you using the internet help you?
For research and...
Research, good word. Because news programs, you're obviously going to need to do some research, aren't you? Who watches the news? Really?
Sometimes.
Really?
Usually.
Okay, right. So, what other things make up the news? Can you think of anything else that make up the news? Luke?
They have like different sections. Like sometimes they go live to the place, or they have a conversation between the place and the news studio.
Fantastic. So it's not just in one place. They go and speak to somebody somewhere else. That could be something that we can investigate doing. Anything else that you see on a news programme? Almira?
Sometimes there's interviews.
Interviews. Do you think an interview is something that we could do now with some of this equipment that we've got?
Yes.
Possibly. Maybe that'll be up to you to see if we can figure out how to do that. Darren?
We need interesting stories for the news. Like you want to make something that'll catch a person's attention and want them to watch this interesting story.
Yeah. So the news needs to be interesting and needs to be relevant to people. There's some other things though, and what other things might we see in the news? We've got sort of what you're calling current affairs and the things that are going on around the world, but what else is there? What else do you might maybe sometimes see in a news programme? Harsh? Weather's one. That's quite important.
Sorry, I'm looking
It's
at
Jason.
the photos.
Okay, so weather's one.
Maps.
Weather maps we're talking about. Very good. So we've got news, we've got weather. Anything else? Something about maybe you talk about famous people. And they're all involved in. Think about it. How might you see it on the news?
Entertainment.
Entertainment. You often get reviews on websites about films. Okay, we've got to remember it's not just about the news articles, not just read news reports. There are lots of other things. If you want to try and get people to watch it, if you're reviewing films or you're interviewing celebrities, which is often a favourite, isn't it? That's quite important. We've got plenty of celebrities in this school who there are to interview. So we've got entertainment, we've got the news, we've got the weather. Anything else you can think of? Imogen?
Could sometimes in the news be sport?
Do you think that's quite an important one? I think most news channels have some sport on it at some point, don't they?
Yes.
All very important to see how well our football team's doing. Okay, right, I've just given you some ideas about what we're going to do, okay? Now, the whole point of this project as well is for you to make some decisions for yourself. It's quite easy for me to say, well, I'll tell you what, this group's going to go and research this, and that group's going to research that. But what's important is for you to make those decisions about what you think is important. Now, I know you're quite excited having brought in all of this stuff. But, does it all work? How can we use it? You're all nodding. Trust me. I tried the PSP yesterday. And this morning you saw me, didn't you? And it was difficult. Mr. Arwen and Mr. Copen are here, so that's the end of the problems. We'll be fine. Okay. What I want you to do, you're not going to write anything down. I gave you some groups yesterday. Can you remember your groups?
Yes.
Kind of.
Definitely.
You can remember your groups. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do, each group, I'll put them up on the board as well. I'm going to ask you to have a look. Where's this chocolate cake come from, out of interest?
Joshua's
It's appeared on the desk.
It's yours.
Okay. What I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to ask you to collect what you've brought in, put it on a table, okay, and you're going to think about how you're going to use each piece of equipment that you've put on the table, okay? Because it's important that we, do you think, if I was to say, right, group one, if you go off and we've got 6 laptops around that table, and you're working as a group, what could there be a problem with there? What do you think there could be a problem with? Jason?
Too many laptops?
Why might there be too many laptops? What could one of the problems be with that?
Because you can all work on one computer instead of using 6.
Okay, what could a problem be with all of us going off and doing separate things? And
You might not work together.
we get good. We're not working as a group. If we're doing a group project, what do we need to do? We need to work as a group. So if I sent you off and I had one person in the computer lab doing this piece of work and one person in the Discovery Centre doing that piece of work, one person in the classroom, what are we going to have lots of? We're going to have lots of different pieces, aren't we? So we're going to need to think about ways that we can work together on a project without producing separate piece of work here, separate piece of work there, and a separate piece of work here. Okay? As we go along, and especially over the coming weeks, I'm going to talk to you about things that might make it easier using ICT. But also, if we're doing a news report, what sort of things are we going to need to consider as we're doing it? What skills have you already got, maybe not to do with the ICT, that you're going to need to think about when doing literacy, when you're going to be doing a news report? What sort of things? I've just said it. Think about it. What skills, Minho? You're going to need to think about your literacy skills, aren't you? Now, what I'm going to show you quickly is I'm just going to put the groups up. Okay? Now, these are your groups from yesterday. What you might want to think about is a little more imaginative name than Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 4 and Group 5. Okay? Because these are going to be your teams that you're going to work with over the next 5 weeks. Okay? Now, over the next 5 weeks, you're going to explore what hardware. When I say hardware, I mean like the actual physical cameras and things. You're going to explore that. You're going to create. You're going to present. And you're going to evaluate. Okay? This week's your introduction. And that's why we're going to introduce you to the project. I'm going to introduce you to what you brought in. Okay? Next week we're going to move on. We're going to start exploring a little bit more. Create as well. Now, at the end, what did I say we were going to do at the end? Which some of you said, I can't do that. I can't do that. There's no chance. Who did I say we're going to get involved at the end? Andy?
We were going to create a video and show the make a video and show the parents.
We're going to show your parents. We're going to show your parents what learning you've done over the last 5 weeks. And do you think they're going to be impressed about some of the things that you've done? What I think you'll also be able to do, you'll be able to go back home, you'll be able to say, look, how about you go and do, I can show you how to do this to make things easier. Or I could set up a movie using Movie Maker on your home computer. Who knows how to record audio? Who knows how to record their voice on the computer? Fantastic. These are all the things we're going to need to share with each other. Now, for the next 10 minutes, what we're going to do, we're going to get some of this equipment out. Okay? We've got Mr. Owen and Mr. Gopin here who are going to help you connect it if there are problems. Okay? They'll help you connect to the internet. The rest of it, I want you to take every single piece and think, why have we brought this in? What could this do to help me produce a news program? How could I use it? Okay? Now, what we're going to need to make sure we do if there are 5 of us around the table. Share your ideas. That doesn't mean just one person telling us all how to do it. It means that we all have a go at sharing our ideas. Okay, right. Group 1. Where are you? Do you want to go and grab your stuff? You can take anyone.